These are the Well-Quinn full cover gel tips. These tips are more square up top by the cuticle. Let me show you a different brand. So this is BT Art Box. They're full cover tips but are plastic. They are slightly more rounded by the cuticle. Do you see the difference between the square and the coffin? And here is the 3XL from AliExpress. Here's the stiletto one, and it is a lot more square than this one. You see the squareness on that one? And it's more shaped like an almond than it is a stiletto. So let's practice rounding the shape that it fits more to the cuticles. You can take a practice tip and make some marks, no more than 1 millimeter off of each corner. See how I'm rounding it out there? It's not a lot, it's just a little bit. And that little bit makes a huge difference. The more you practice, the easier it will get. It will become muscle memory. You'll just see it with your eyes and see exactly where it needs to be taken off. Do you see the difference? So here you can mark where your nail bed ends. So I put a mark right here that I know this is where I won't file past, because that is the width of the nail. That is the part that will fit on the nail plate. But everything else you can customize to your own liking. So you can draw some lines on the sides down to make it into a stiletto. You see that? And then you can take your ruler and you can measure. Let's mark it a little bit more. You can make it even skinnier if you want to. But this is a good way to practice stiletto. So here I have my ruler. Here's 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter. On the side, I can measure it. So I have about 8 millimeters and about 8 millimeters here. So that's the way you can practice and make it perfect. So we can even measure this part. So I have 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 1. And the end is always the least of the measurement. So here, depending on how you hold the file, is how much you will take off. So I put it in an angle to file just a little bit off, and I'm very light-handed with my hand. I am not filing this really roughly. I'm filing it very light hand, because you want to take off the minimum, that you don't make any mistakes and file off too much. Very light hand when you're filing, and I'm going in kind of a rounded shape when I'm filing. See that hook there? That's what I'm kind of doing. It's just that it's sped up and it looks like I'm filing really rough, but I'm not. Very light hand. Do you see how much better that already looks with just that 1 millimeter? So now we're gonna take off the sides, and I have the nail file go in up and down, because you're only focusing on the sides. You see that? There is no length being taken off of the nail whatsoever. The tip of the nail should be intact when you're filing like this. So no length is coming off at all. So there will be no sizing issues. So you just take off here on the side, and the way you hold your file and the way you practice filing makes a huge difference. So let's double check. Do you see any mistakes there? A little bit on the side, it looks a little bit rounded, and want more straight. Want it more straight? Just take the file that little part off, Go underneath and check your work underneath. File that part off. You see that? Perfection.